We're there? Hey guys. Hello, hello. A little early. Is anybody there yet? Of course, we need to do the sound checking. Test 1, test 2. All right, good. You guys are here. Welcome, guys. So we're going to start a 3-day cycle today. 3-day cycle all about handstands. And I think I could do a 30-day cycle on handstands. There's so much to talk about, so much to do. But we're going to narrow down to 3 days. And today I thought it would be nice that we focus on our hands, our wrists, arms, shoulders. So really the upper part of our body, or when you're upside down, the foundation of our body. Just because I feel like so much starts with a good, solid foundation. So let's start with that. Tomorrow we're going to focus on core, keeping our stability once we're upside down. And our 3rd day, we're going to focus on flying or jumping into a handstand and really make it fun. All right, guys, so today what you guys need is a wall. Or a little bit of a wall, or a very stable man or woman to catch you, that's also fine. And other than that, we're good. Maybe a mat, yeah. Today we have Basiet helping me. Happy to have an assistant. Yeah, so let's stop talking and jump right in. Right. Okay, so we're gonna come to the top of the mat and we're just gonna build it up slowly, okay? Get the body to warm up a bit. You can bring your feet together, slightly tuck the belly in, drop the shoulders. If you want, close your eyes. And we'll just take a moment to draw all the attention in, to let go of whatever you were doing today. And you start to tune in with your body. And just feeling and noticing if there's any areas that are feeling a bit tight or tired. And taking a few deep in and exhalations. Maybe you notice your body tends to wobble slightly as you stand here. See if you can push your feet more into the mat. If you can start to activate the muscles in the legs, in the belly, along the spine. Maybe lifting the crown of the head slightly up, standing active and tall, and trying to keep the body still. All right. Now, if you notice tension in the shoulders or in the neck, take a moment to release some of that tension. We're gonna roll the head around, or if you prefer, you could also roll your shoulders. Doesn't really matter what it looks like here. You could just do anything that feels nice for the head, the neck, the shoulders. And I'm sure you know best what feels good in this moment. All right, finishing off our movement. We're gonna come back to center with our head, with our shoulders. Good, and you can slowly open your eyes. Good, welcome back. All right, we're gonna bring some movement in our arms and in our shoulders straight away. Using our next inhale to bring the arms out to the side and circle them all the way up, drawing a big circle. Let the palms touch, look up to your thumbs, and try and tuck your belly slightly in. Good. Exhale, hands come in front of the heart. Again, inhale, circling out and up. And exhale, hands in front of the heart. Inhale, circle out and up. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. A little slower. Inhale, circle out and up. Take your time. Reaching up, make that inhale last. And then staying here. Good. Now bring your palms slightly apart so they come shoulder width apart. Now here I'll turn to the camera completely. We're gonna see if we can get some activation in our shoulders. So we're gonna reach the fingers all the way up, extending in the shoulders. And what happens is that the upper arms come close to the ears. So imagine reaching up to the ceiling as much as you can. Maybe you feel the arms against the ears. And exhale, release. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. Good, we'll do that a few times. Inhale, reaching all the way up. Stretch, 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 stretch. And you kind of want to feel like the arms need to work a lot. You want to feel the shoulders work a lot. You want to put in some effort here. Reaching up as much as you can. Good. Exhale, drop the shoulders away. Inhale, reaching up again. Extending through the sides of the body, extending through the shoulders. Touch the ceiling. Good. Exhale, drop away. Now a little faster. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, drop away. Inhale, up. Exhale, drop away. Inhale, up. Exhale, drop away. Inhale, up. And exhale, drop away. All right, good. Now using your next exhale to slowly bring your arms in front of your heart. And then one vertebrae at a time, we're gonna roll forward and down, letting the arms come down, letting the head come down, and just dangle all the way forward. And if you want, you can bend your knees here, if that feels nicer for the back of the legs, or maybe nicer for the lower back. And you can sway your body from left to right. Good. Now, maybe you feel the arms burn slightly, the side of the shoulders, the upper arms. That means you've done a really good job extending as we were reaching up. And that's really key when we go upside down. You want the shoulders to work really hard as you go upside down so that the rest of the body needs to do a little bit less. So that's a good job. All right. Now in our forward fold, we're going to release the arms, bring them onto the mat. And if you need, bend your knees a little more and place the palms underneath your feet with the palms up. So we're standing on our hands with the toes touching the wrists. Good. Now if you have space, straighten the legs a little. And we're going to find a nice little stretch for the wrists. So if you're a bit more flexible, that might mean you need to bend your elbows to get that stretch. So just see what works for you, figure out when you feel that stretch, and kind of lean into it. You could play around by shifting a bit more weight towards the toes, creating a bit more of a stretch for that part of the wrists, and maybe softly move from left to right. Very good. All right. And slowly we'll release the arms, release the hands. Give the hands a little shake. All right. Now placing the hands onto the mat, you're gonna lean forward first. Lean all the weight into the hands. If you're more flexible, you can come onto your tippy toes so you could really shift all the weight into the hands. And now try to keep that weight in your hands and then walk your feet back. We're gonna walk it back to a downward facing dog. And you try to keep the weight in the hands for as long as you can. Good, now in your down dog, take a moment, stretch the legs, straightening them one at a time. All right. And then we'll place our knees down on the floor. We're going to take a little bit more time to loosen up the wrists just before we move on. So hands are underneath the shoulders. I'm going to turn the fingers out to the side. And then we'll circle. Draw big circles with the shoulders. Doesn't matter what direction you start in. And as you do this, look at your fingertips. And you want your fingertips to be wide. You want to put a lot of pressure in the fingertips. And fingertips kind of give you strength in the hands right now, but also when you go upside down. The more you press those fingertips into the floor, the more control you'll have upside down. Good. Continue to move, other way, other direction. Very good. And I don't know for you at home, I spend a lot of time working behind my laptop, which means my wrists can get really, really stiff. So it's important to take a bit of time to loosen up in those areas that suffer during the day. All right, we're gonna come back to the center, drawing the fingertips towards you. Same thing here, pressing the fingertips down until they turn slightly white. And then if you have more space, you could lean back, keeping the entire palm flat on the ground, and finding that stretch for the wrists. And every time you think the stretch is getting too intense, first try to press the fingertips more into the mat. That could relieve some of that tension in the wrists. But if it hurts too much, you can always move forward, or maybe you prefer bouncing softly forward and back. Okay. Now you can come and sit as far back as you can. And then slowly sit all the way back and peel your hands off the mat. Good. And give those wrists a little shake. All right. Should feel nice to release. Okay. If you want, take your time, stretch them out the other way around. Could be on your mat. But the movement we just made with our wrists, you'll find helps a lot to work on when you want to go upside down more. Upside down, we get a very close, tiny little angle for the top of the hand meeting the wrists, and it could create a lot of compression, which is fine, but your body needs a bit of time to get used to it. You need to build up a bit of strength in the forearms to be able to support the wrists, and doing these kinds of warm-ups and exercises will really get you there. All right, we're good? Yeah, we're good. All right, we're gonna press the toes into the mat, and now we're gonna make it a bit more active. So you can lift your knees off the floor and then slowly press yourself back to a downward facing dog. Keeping the hands on the mat, fingers spread wide, and those fingertips need to be firmly pressed down here as well, just like we did when we were warming up. All right, now from here, we're gonna use our inhale to roll the shoulders forward. Exhale, moving the shoulders back. We'll do that a few times. Inhale, roll forward. Exhale, roll back. And you can make this whole wave in your spine if that's something that feels good. But you could also just keep it a little bit more linear, just keeping a straight spine as you move forward and back. Most important here is that you feel that your weight shifts more into your hands as you roll forward. As the shoulders come above or over the wrist, you get a lot more weight and maybe also a bit more pressure in the hands and in the wrists. Okay, so we're doing one more. All right, good. And coming back to a downward dog. Now, that same shifting of the weight, we're gonna use a lot. Okay, so lifting the right leg up. You can try and lift it as high as you can, but keeping the hips in line with one another, keeping the hips squared. Good. One more inhale to lift your right leg a little higher. Exhale, we're gonna draw the right knee to the chest. Now roll those shoulders forward, all the weight into the hands, and see if you can maybe tap your right elbow or your right upper arm. Good. Exhale, coming back, lifting that right leg up again. We'll do that a few more times on the right side. First, drawing the knee to the chest, roll the shoulders forward, then tap the arm. Good. Inhale, come back. Exhale, knee to chest, roll forward, tap. Good. Inhale, back. Again, roll forward, draw the knee in, tap, and coming back up. All right, 2 more, rolling forward, squeeze it in, tap, and back up. Draw it in, roll forward, tap, good, and back up. Lifting the right leg up one more time. Exhale, step it next to the left, good. All right, taking a moment here. Catch your breath. See if you can stay in your downward facing dog. All right, now we'll do the same thing on the left side, and then after we'll take a short break. Okay, so lifting the left leg up. Keeping the hips squared, lift that left leg high. Good, exhale, we're drawing the knee to the chest. Roll the shoulders forward, feel the weight in your arms, and tap your elbow. Good, inhale, come back, extend the left leg. Exhale, draw the knee in, roll forward, tap, and coming back up. Exhale, draw the knee in, roll forward, tap, and continue to move. And maybe you notice every time you come forward with the shoulders, you don't really need to draw the knee much further forward because the shoulders coming forward is already enough for the knee to meet the arm. Okay, last one. Drawing the knee in, roll forward, tap, and come back. Lift that leg up one more time. And exhale, stepping the left foot back down. All right. If you want, walk your dog. Then we'll roll the knees down. Sit down on the heels. And again, if you want, give those arms a little shake. Or maybe you feel the shoulders a lot more. You want to give those a break. All right. All right. We're going to create a little bit of a stretch for the arms, just to bring some variation in. We'll bring our right arm up, bending the right elbow, place your right hand between your shoulder blades, then take the left hand, grab your right elbow, and pull that elbow down a bit. So we're creating that nice, easy stretch for the right upper arm, for the right tricep, but also for the side of the shoulder that we've been using quite a bit already. All right. And you feel that the breath is slowing down already. We'll need that. All right, switching, bringing the left hand between the shoulder blades. Grab the elbow with the right hand and pull your hand further down. All right, good. And releasing. Letting the hands come back by your side. All right. Letting the hands come back down on the floor. We're gonna press the toes back into the mat, lifting the hips back up, coming back to that downward facing dog. All right. Okay, thanks. So we're halfway in, I hear. We're gonna continue by looking at the hands, using the next inhale again to roll the shoulders forward until the shoulders are over the wrists, then shifting all the weight into that left hand, turning onto the left side. We're gonna bring the right arm up, coming into a side plank. Now here, if you want, you can bring the feet in front of one another to make it a little easier. Most important here is that you focus on keeping those hips up high. So you don't want to collapse in the side here. And one way to do that is to really focus on pressing that left hand down into the floor, pressing the fingertips into the floor and kind of lifting away from that hand, as if you're pressing your whole body away from the floor through the arm. Good, keep breathing. I know this one hurts a lot for most people. We're gonna stay here for one more inhale, one more exhale. Good, and releasing the right hand down onto the floor, pressing back to downward facing dog. Deep exhale. Same thing on the other side. Inhale, rolling forward all the way to the hands. Bringing all the weight into that right hand, turning onto the right side. Lift the left arm up and really focus on that right hand. Focus on pressing the fingertips down, pressing the arm into the floor, lifting out of that shoulder almost, right ear away from the right shoulder, and keep the hips up. Good, keep breathing. I know it doesn't feel nice for the arm, but see if you can stay here just a little longer. If you start to feel your wrist, think about pressing the fingertips more down. Good, and staying for one more inhale. And one more exhale. Good, hand comes back down. Press yourself back to downward facing dog. And deep exhale. All right. And we'll jump into the next. We're not gonna take a break this time. Looking at the hands again. Inhale, roll forward, coming onto the hands. Now from here, slowly, we're gonna drop our elbows down to the floor and see if you can do that simultaneously. So slowly bending the elbows until they come down on the floor. Good. Now, as we're here, it's very easy to start hanging in the shoulders, something we don't want to do. You want to continue to press the elbows into the floor. Move away from the floor. It's kind of like you're moving your shoulder blades away from one another. Good. Now keep pressing here. Keep the core active. We're going to take tiny steps forward, and we'll walk the feet back to a downward facing dog. Good. Lifting the hips up high if you want. Of course, you could bend the knees, but try and push the floor away with your elbows continuously. Don't collapse in the shoulders. Keep the shoulders active, keep the arms active. Okay, and now we're slowly gonna walk the feet back to that low plank. Good. Again, make sure you're lifting away from the floor. I'm gonna keep repeating this. Okay, inhale, coming back up. Up, up, up. Good, maybe bend the knees. Maybe you don't just feel the shoulders, but you feel the whole upper back. All right, and coming back to that low plank. All right, good. Keeping the shoulders active. One more time, inhale, coming up. Walk the feet up. Push the floor away. Push, 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 keep breathing. And exhale, coming back. All right, good. Now see if, my mat is a little slippery. If again, you can come up into a plank, maybe simultaneously, but I was sliding a bit. All right, coming up and pressing back to a downward facing dog. All right, now if you want, you can come onto your knees, or you could stay here and maybe come into some shoulder rolls, just to relieve a little bit in the shoulders. Kind of slow the breath down again. All right. And in your own way, you're gonna come to the top of your mat. You're gonna come to standing. You can walk your feet forward, or if you were sitting on the floor, take your time to get up. All right, and then we'll slowly roll ourselves up to standing. All right, so if you were feeling tight in the shoulders, I hope that's gone a bit now. All right, so we're gonna move over to the wall, and just before we turn upside down, I wanna take a moment to get a nice stretch in for the shoulders. Now, if you noticed, it was really hard for you on the elbows to walk the feet all the way in. Could very well be that your shoulders don't have that much space yet. So what you could do is you could work on opening them up. Now, first stretch we're gonna do is you're gonna place your hands, say, a little lower than the shoulders are. Straighten the arms and then take a step back. From here, we're gonna drop the head between the arms, and then you're gonna hang the body towards the floor. So it's kind of like you're hanging in your shoulders almost. Here you could bend your knees, of course, but try and avoid hanging too much in the lower back. I tend to do that, maybe you do as well. So see if you can keep your belly active, Keep the lower back flat, and then kind of let the chest fall down towards the floor. And your hands are just gonna stay on the wall, so you don't need to focus on that too much, but seeing which areas between the shoulder blades in the upper back can relax more for you to be able to drop the chest further down. All right, very good. Inhale, coming up. Now, we'll do one more, very similar to this one, but slightly different. So earlier, we were completely hanging in the shoulders. This time around, we're gonna tuck the belly in, tuck the ribs in, so make sure you don't collapse here. You're gonna keep this part super active, and then you're gonna try and push the chest down again. So notice how I'm not getting down that much here. Remember, coming here, that's not happening now. I'm locking the entire body. I'm just trying to create space in the shoulders. So if you're doing this properly, it should feel way more intense. Try and focus on tucking those lower ribs in, keeping the belly active, and I'm pushing the head further down, pushing the chest further down. All right, staying here for 2 more breaths. All right, good. And inhale, you're gonna come up. All right, good. And release. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna come up against the wall now. So maybe you wanna show them? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come up into an L shape against the wall. So he's using his leg to measure it out. If you have short legs like me, maybe you're not that far away from the wall. And from there, he's gonna lift his feet up on the wall. Now, very important here, I cannot touch him, but you want to create a straight line between the hands and the shoulders, and the hips could come slightly further back. That's because if you wouldn't, it would be really, really hard for the entire body. So you're kind of using the weight of the hips, of the bum, to compensate for the weight of the legs. So like this is completely fine. Now remember here, most important, we're focusing on the arms today. You want to spread your fingers wide, really like spider hands. Press the fingertips into the floor, and then try and extend all the way as if you want to reach the arms towards the ears again. So you want to create that same kind of activation. And this posture is really hard, so see if you can hold it for a moment. See if you can keep breathing, and if you can keep that activation in the arms, because then you'll really feel the difference it makes compared to when you don't. Okay, good. Now can come down again. Good, and give it a shake, give it a release. Okay, now maybe this was already super easy for you, or maybe it was super hard for you. We're gonna do it again in a moment, but I wanna give an option for you if you felt like this was too easy. So second option that we have, very similar. You're gonna bring your hands on the floor, step your feet up against the wall, a little too close. Now here, we're gonna try and come all the way onto the tippy toes. So barely anything is touching the wall. Maybe it's just one big toe that's touching the wall. And then we're focusing on extending through the shoulders. Try and keep the arms close to the ears. Press the fingertips down into the floor and keep that shape. Okay? So see if that could work for you. If it doesn't work for you, go back to the previous option, feet flat. Maybe the knees are bent. But eventually you want to have little to no weight in the feet. Everything is in the hands, everything is in the arms and the shoulders. If you want to try again. And compared to a regular handstand, what you'll notice is that this type of exercise, this L shape, is way harder for the shoulders. It's harder to keep the shape because we have that weight dividing with the legs towards the wall. So that makes it completely different versus when you're upside down and the weight automatically comes down through the shoulders. This is a really good way to practice the right activation in the arms. All right, good. Maybe step your feet slightly lower. Yeah, good. And point the toes. See if you can get the toes on the wall. Maybe just one toe. Good. All right. Hold it for a bit longer if you still have energy. And then slowly we're going to walk the feet back. Okay, good. Now, if you want to practice this more at home, you'll notice when both feet are on the wall, barely touching, that's really hard. Once you start to lift one leg up, it's going to be way easier for your whole system. So really try and keep it hard, keep the legs on the wall. If you want to make it maybe just a bit more challenging, what you could do is you could step the feet up the wall and then start to draw one knee in, relying more and more on the core strength to keep you there, relying more and more on the arms. And like this, you could practice getting more and more control, and then maybe feeling like you could actually do it without the wall. Right. I think we're coming towards the end of our practice. So either you take a moment, go upside down one more time, or what you could also do is come onto your mat and just take a moment to wind down. So up to you, whichever one you prefer. If you felt you build up a lot of tension, take a moment, maybe do a nice twist, maybe do a nice shoulder roll or a neck stretch. Up to you. Anything that makes you feel like you rounded off this practice properly. We see Basiet just throwing in one more handstand. Good, maybe shift a bit more weight towards the hands. Maybe he can draw one knee to the chest. Good, keep the weight in the hands. Very good. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining. I hope you guys enjoyed this first handstand 30 minutes. If you want, catch one of the other clips. Thank you so much for coming. Stay grounded, guys. Stay active. Stay healthy. And I'll catch you later.